Hey guys, welcome back to the episode of Free Play. Today we are playing a game called Bottom of the Well. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Sorry for the camera. I was struggling to get it to work. It wasn't really cooperating with me. It was just fighting me. Sorry, the music just went out. I had to change some stuff. It was just fighting with me. So it said this game can take anywhere from 20 minutes on. So hopefully we get the lesser. But let's go ahead and start the timer like we always do for 20 minutes. Just so I don't play over like I've done before. So here we go. It's point and click visual novel. It says point and click visual novel. Oh, okay. Welcome to Bottom of the Well. This game, you will be mainly interacting with it by selecting one of the many options during the narrative, which is mainly text-based. 2 additional layers of interaction. Customizing Alice. This you do when you start the game. It allows you to play the game with an entirely different set of skills and characteristics. For example, a fit in survival mind for Alice with different experience from unfit with social Alice. Then the inventory. Okay. Escape brings up in-game menu. When in-game, hold on Shift, space enter, skip text. Try the game. Okay, new game. Welcome to Bottom of the Well. This game is a visual novel, meaning it is a mainly text-based piece of interactive fiction, a book where you get to decide what happens next. Most of your gameplay consists of picking your choice from a selection of options, which will further the story. Bottom of the Well does have some gameplay aside from multiple choice, though the most important of which is the kind of Alice, your protagonist, you are going to play. For your first playthrough, we recommend use the default Alice, but the customization is there to be used. Even if you complete the game, a different Alice might have a very different experience. Nothing else, you might just find a new way to die. Thank you for playing our game, Red Nettle Studio. We're just gonna do default Alice. Default Alice is capable of finishing the game. Go back. It's finishing the game to its true ending, but not necessarily through all branches. This is Alice's career motivated. Okay, we got through enough, guys. Got through enough. There we go. I accidentally clicked something. Dear Diary, today I have the weirdest dream in my life. I'm waiting for Joe to come online so we can talk to someone. Morning A. Morning. Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? No, well, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on, Alice in Wonderland is like our favorite. Let me finish. Something happened. I was turning in on my radio. You're such a Luddite. Amazing if you even catch you online. Shut up. I'm not a Luddite. I just like analog things. I'm guessing that means she doesn't like computers. Anyways, turning into the broadcast, and I must have hit the AM switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What, aliens? Oh, government-run number stations? No, it was this weird, like, white noise at first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, maybe lyrics, but the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went out on my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. It sounded more like music, with the odd signal in the background. Really hoping this music doesn't catch me. When logic and proportion have fallen supplely dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Oh, somebody's pirate radio broadcast of golden oldies. I felt like there was something else there. Some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird. And then I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed. I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? It was entirely lucid. But like waking up in another world, except I didn't think it was another world. Does this make any sense? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but were still lucidly in control. Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you've got my attention. Okay. There we go. So, like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every color, every touch. It's important you know that I wasn't acting like I would in a dream. I didn't know it was a dream. Heavy. So this is Mad Hatter, and this is Alice. I can't remember her name in the book. It's actually one of my favorite books. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV had turned into the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us we were under attack. You were alone? Yeah, I had a really long day at the office, so I had sworn off all social contact for the evening. I had the TV on in the background, just as noise. Wait, what? The office? You mean you got someone a real adult person job in this dream of yours? Yeah, actually, at the college, student admissions office. Hey, don't sound so surprised. I'm going to graduate in just a few months, you know. Uh-huh. With a BA in English Lit. Shut up. Such skill with words. Anyway, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned on to the emergency alert system, jacked the volume all the way up, too. I didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast told us we were under attack right now, and that we needed to get to shelter. They had less than 30 minutes before the bombs hit. Jesus, sounds scary. At first, I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. Then the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens. I don't know, and I knew things were serious. So what'd you do? Chess? Who's that? My boyfriend. I mean, I don't have a boyfriend, but in my dream I did. Wait up. Tell me about this sudden new boyfriend of yours. I thought you weren't in the dating scene. Actually, I've been thinking about putting myself out there. Like maybe some online dating or something. Although I'm kind of afraid to check OkCupid right now. What if there's a guy there named Chess? Good. Icebreaker. Hi, I'm Alice. I dreamed about you the other night. You were from the end of the world, buddy. Funny. Or did I just... You were saying about Chess. What kind of name is that, anyway? I wasn't really. I mean, yeah, he was pretty hot, I guess, and smart, and into me. What more could you ask for? I can sense you blushing all the way over here. Maybe I should check on my OkCupid profile, actually. So what did your boyfriend think? Well, first, I tried calling him, but all I got was the pre-recorded network busy message. But the network still worked, so I hit him up there. I mean, we did most of our communication in chat anyway, and I found him, but there was no time for, well, anything. I started typing, holy hell, what the fuck is going on, style stuff. He just teaserly replied he had to go. That's a little blunt. He told me he needed to go get his sister. His sister? How come? He mentioned her a few times. She's disabled, but lives in a house by herself, out somewhere in the boroughs. Did he ask you to come too? He didn't ask. I did. I'm going outside my apartment in 5 minutes, he said, then logged off. I guess that's an invitation of sorts? So what'd you do? Well, I knew that Chess wasn't going to wait for me. I wanted to go with him, and I had to go right away. Just grab my stuff and go. Making quick decisions in the spur of the moment doesn't sound like you. So what'd you do? So I decided to go with Chess. I mean, how couldn't I? He clearly needed help. Altruistic. How long had you been dating? Cynic. Long enough to know my feelings were real. I mean, they felt real in the dream. Where did the sister live again? In the borough, practically the suburbs. So pretty far. Chess said he usually takes a subway or bus. Chess actually lived just down the street, and we always had a customary place to meet. We didn't even need to confirm the place anymore, but it didn't seem very likely we'd be able to catch a bus or the subway. So how are you planning on getting the sister in less than 30 minutes? Oh, spoiler, the bombs didn't start dropping on us within 30 minutes. It took longer than that. They did start, though. That's lucky. Yeah, well, it didn't mean we weren't in a hurry. But you didn't leave empty-handed, though, right? Oh, right. Yes, I grabbed the biggest bag I had. A backpack. People always called it magic. You could fit so much into it, bigger on the inside and all that. What are we gonna take? Sleeping bag. 2 days of food. A flashlight, a map, a radio, spare clothes. Oh, fuck that. Spare clothes. Oh, so we can't fit anything else in our backpack. I mean, I guess we don't necessarily need that. Okay, there you go. Go on, Burrow, sister. Bombs incoming. How did you plan to get there in the chaos? The chaos. Yeah, the streets were nuts. Everything and everyone was going crazy. Crashes everywhere, but no one was responding. The street was completely gridlocked. I'm talking maybe 15 minutes after the first announcement here. All it takes is a few cars in the wrong place. But you live pretty centrally, right? It had to be better farther out. Did Chess have a car? No, but if we wanted a car, there were tons around. People just left them, keys in the ignition, and ran. Holy shit! It really must have been bedlam. It was. It was. I was so scared. So steal a car or walk. We discussed walking. It was like 14 miles or something. It'd probably take a good at least 4 or 5 hours on a good day. This wasn't a good day. Maybe a good start though. Maybe things clear up outside the downtown area. Might be able to steal a car there. Appropriate a car. Stealing sounds so criminal. Whatever you say. Any other options except stealing, appropriating a car, or hoofing it? Sorry about that. Coughed. Something in between. I know a guy with a motorcycle. He really loves that motorcycle, but I wonder if maybe he'd be willing to borrow. Maybe he'd be willing to borrow it. I mean, for fuck's sake, we're going to rescue a disabled woman. You know him well? Reasonably. He didn't know you. I didn't know you. I didn't know you knew how to drive a motorcycle. Sports, sorry. I'm a woman of many talents. So what did you do? Uh-huh. By your description, that seems like kind of like a bad idea. Well, finding a vehicle was easy. Then they had all been abandoned for a good reason. They weren't going anywhere. I had to find one I could feasibly get out of there with. An abandoned one you could feasibly get out of there with. Right. So how'd you do that? And what did Chess have to say about this? He was game. Anything to get his sister faster. But he figured we'd make better time if we split up. I went to the garden. He went to scout out a route. Sounds like a plan. It wasn't really sure what I had. I wasn't really sure what I was looking for. I just needed a car. Stat. I found a station wagon, open with the key in the ignition. No sign of the owner. I jumped in and gunned it. Got maybe half a block before I hit a complete traffic stop. Everyone was beeping. People were abandoning their cars. All traffic rules forgotten. Not sure what else you expected. Yeah, well, I decided walking was the best option. The whole downtown area was gridlocked. Cars everywhere. People running down the sidewalks and sirens blaring. It's like one of those disaster movies. No hope of driving anywhere at that rate. But where was everyone going? Most of them were going home, I think. People were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there you are, running away from home. Once I made my decision, I stuck to it. No matter how much I was filled with doubt, half an hour was nothing. Nothing at all. But luckily, that estimate was completely wrong. Sometimes I'll walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I simply refuse to believe I'm lost. I didn't know what was in the right direction, but I did try to get there as fast as possible. Although that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I swept up the mass of people and manhandled in the wrong direction more than once. Every few minutes, I stopped to consult a map. Was there any danger? Like people attacking each other or something? No, I thought we were all going in the same direction, but then I realized that the crowd was heading somewhere I hadn't planned to go, a subway station. What'd you do? I was swept along. It was that or get trampled or pinned against some wall. I finally managed to disentangle myself at the stalled mass of people just outside the entrance. Apparently it was closed, and people were trying to break through the gates. By the time I was through, I had lost a lot of time. Time. Yes, isn't that the thing you're fighting here? How far away were you planning on getting? Well, a lot further than I had gotten at that point. I could practically see my apartment building, but the crowd was slowly thinning at least. I actually saw a vehicle in motion, an ambulance, weaving between stalled cars and its sirens blaring. What'd you do? I found myself looking over my shoulder all the time, as the flash would come at any time. Aren't you supposed to be look away from the flash? Well, yeah, but how could I not? Some warning, something. The sirens were pointless. Weren't they supposed to warn when the event is intimate? No, not intimate. Intimate. About to happen. I know what the word is. I just cannot the words. No, I've been out for at least an hour. No bombs yet. I think I would have stayed home or just done about anything but head out in the open. You do that when you have. You do that when you have the stream. I did what I did. So how long did you risk staying out? I asked Chess what he thought, and he just shook his head. He was going to keep going. So what did you find? I kept checking my map. Sorry, guys. When Chess saw that, he immediately told me to stop. I tried to argue with him that we had to find shelter, but he wouldn't have any of it. He said I should go, but he was going to keep going, and we were already wasting time. Nothing I could say could persuade him otherwise. Just like that, he said to come look for him after it was all over. Although I had my doubts, anyway, I had other more immediate things to worry about. That was probably not very safe, though. I mean, it might have been packed. Oh, yes. As I got closer, I did see something that made my heart surge. Policemen. Actual government workers. They were ushering everyone down below, and people were actually moving in somewhat orderly fashion. Is your subway system bomb-proof? I have no idea. I was caught in the stream of people either way. Found myself shepherded below ground. It smelled of pee and vomit and body odor, and crying and shouting made talking impossible. So, a regular Friday night at the underground. Funny. Anyway, there was actually some semblance of order down there. Policemen were giving people places to sleep. Also down on the tracks. And you ended up on the tracks? At least I had my sleeping bag to protect me against the cold hard ground. I had myself up as well as I could while people kept jostling me around waiting for the end. At least you weren't alone. And it had to be safer underground, right? It didn't feel safe, not at all. Someone could have knocked me out. Hell, someone could have probably shanked me down there and no one would have noticed. I was more frightened of the other people than I was of the bombs. The bombs were just abstract threats, while all these panicked people were right there. What? No coming together of people, no great communion in the face of danger, every man for himself. Anyways, apocalypse. So it was real, I mean, in the dream. Yes, the first one was the worst because the light went out with it. I tried to make myself as small as I could, but I got kicked once or twice by people running in a panic. A few minutes later, there were flashlights out, police shouting, telling everyone to be calm. But be calm, bullshit. The lights were out and it was completely, utterly pitch black. The first one, there were many more. I lost count. With every blast, there was this terrible sound from the roof, like it was crying out. Small pieces of it just rained down with every rumble. All responded to its cry. Jesus Christ. Did the roof hold? It groaned. Rocks tumbled down. Someone got hit by one big enough to hurt and they cried out. I don't think the station was very far underground at all. It had been designed with bombings in mind. It must have been pretty harrowing. Not just for me. A lot of people got up and said they weren't going to stay. There was a surge of people. Panic was mounting again. It was quiet outside. The policemen didn't want anyone leaving it. There was a lot of screaming. Some demanding to be let out. I had to stand up to avoid getting jostled and trampled again. What'd you do? That's when the final bomb hit. Close. Maybe it had been shot out, of course. Maybe, who knows? I was looking towards the exit when it hit. I could see the firestorm sweep down into it, engulfing the hapless policemen, and everyone had been pushed against them to come out. Everyone screamed, but it was drowned out by the sound of the roof beginning to fall. Dust covered everything. Holy shit, what'd you do? After I finished coughing, something was burning, so I could actually see, although I couldn't particularly want to. What I saw was that the most were either huddling down, praying to whatever god they had that they would be buried alive, or then trying to escape. No one could get past the they wouldn't get buried alive, or then trying to escape. No one could get past the burning wreckage at the entrance, but the subway tunnels were wide open. Most were crowding in the tunnels, leading westwards, away from the downtown area, but it was a stampede. The tunnels leading east, back from where I came, were practically empty by comparison. I would get out of there if I were you, regardless of the direction. Where'd you go? I rushed into the east tunnel, heedless of what came behind me as I ran. I heard the collapse of the subway station behind me and saw it as all light went out. Ooh, shit. Good, you got out of that one. Yeah. I had a flashlight. Thank God. It shone around the tunnel. I realized in my amazement I was the only one who ran into it. Maybe others had run into the parallel one, but I wasn't alone here. I was alone here. I went back to the tunnel collapse. It was just an insurmountable barrier of concrete and rebar, on the other side of which you might have been. Well, I don't know if where I was much better. What if all the stations had collapsed? What if I was trapped in this tunnel and it wasn't a hell of a lot likely closer to ground zero than you get? A fair point. The thing was, I knew this line. This was my line. The next stop was my stop. So right back to zero. Pretty much. At least it was faster to walk underground than above ground. Had the station collapsed? Take a wild guess. Of course it had. That's not good. There was a similar pile blocking the entrance here, but I shone my flashlight all over it, climbing up as high as I could until I saw something amazing. A glint of metal. A train? Yep, it must have been in the station when the bombs hit. Started digging. I mean, this took a long while, full day at least. But in the end, I had unearthed the emergency exit to the back of the train car. And you got that one open too? With some effort, I had no shortage of blunt objects though. When I stepped into it, I realized it was sunlight I was seeing further ahead. I could have cried. So you could get out? Yes. Through one of the windows. I crawled through the short tunnel, made out of the debris, careful not to look at what else the tunnel was made out of, and crawled up into the pretty dim, pretty foreboding sunlight, but still sunlight. And what did it look like? Better than the tunnel, but not much. The sky was dark, a rain of ash coming down. The city was burning, scorched, ruined, a bit like me, probably crawling out of that hole. Radioactive ash? Presumably. Although I was too busy breathing in a big gulps of fresh air to give a hoot. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop. Right here. Now we're just clicking about. So we're like here now. Okay, so we're gonna switch to Steam. Like we do. I'm totally giving this game a thumbs up. I'm enjoying it a lot. There's supposed to be a lot of different endings to this. Start page. Yeah. There's supposed to be a whole bunch of different endings to this. And it can take less time than it took me. You can customize your character. So I'm saying do it. Play this game. Do it. If you want to know the end. The reviews are pretty much good. I haven't. So I guess there's a whole bunch of ways to die. So yeah, play it, guys. Enjoy. Do what you need to do. I'll check you guys out on Wednesday for an episode of Free Play.